Hello everyone, my name is Anshu Kumar and I'm one of the math experts here at QMath. We are the number one math experts community in India and we make learning mathematics fun. We at QMath enable our students to look for the why before the what of a concept, and all our students learn the concepts just by working on them. So I welcome you all to our channel, the NCERT Class 7 Math, where we will be posting videos on concepts and questions of different topics of this grade. So if you like this video, do share it with your friends. Click on the like button below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also click on the bell icon. And if you want a live one-on-one session with one of the QMath certified teachers, click on the link in the description and enroll with us. And you know what? If you register with that link, you're going to get one free live online demo session with one of our experts. So in today's video, we are going to discuss a very important concept of the congruency of triangles. But before we move on to the congruency of triangles part, let us first see what is the meaning of this word congruency by taking some real life examples. So if you buy a small packet of biscuit and you open it, what is the common thing between all the biscuits? You see that all the biscuits of the same packet are of exact the same size and shape, and the pattern printed on each of them are same. So we can say that all the biscuits of the same packet are congruent to each other. Then if we take a currency note, for example, a 20 rupee note, and we take like 4 or 5 of them, we'll see that all the notes will have the same size and shape, and also the pattern printed on each of them would be same. So we can say that all the 20 rupee notes are congruent to each other. Similarly, if we look around us at different structures called buildings, bridges, you will see that all these structures are made up of congruent patterns. So based on the real life examples, we can conclude that if two objects are congruent to each other, they will have to be of the same size and shape, will have to have the same pattern on them. Also, if you put one on top of the other, they are going to completely overlap each other. Or in other words, you can also say that one is the image of the other. Let us now see how can we use this concept to prove the congruency of line segments. So I'll show you a simulation based on which we'll conclude that what is the necessary condition we need to conclude that two line segments are congruent. So right now, as you can see on your screen, these are the two line segments which we have taken. Let us mark this as AB and CD. Now, if we have to prove that these two line segments are congruent, there is a very important criteria, which is that two line segments can only be congruent if they are of the equal measure. For example, in this case, if we just use this slider and we move AB in such a way that it overlaps with CD, so we can say here that the line segment AB completely overlaps the line segment CD. So in other words, we can say here that the line segments AB and CD are congruent. Hence, two line segments are congruent if they are of the equal measure. Also, the converse of this is true, that when two line segments are congruent, you can say that they will be of the exact measure. Now let's see how can we use this concept to prove the congruency of two angles. So here on your screen, you must be looking at an angle which is marked with this green color. So this angle is drawn again here, such that now we see that both of these angles are equal. So we can conclude that any two angles are congruent if they are of the equal measure. The converse of this is also true. Like if the angles are of equal measure, the two angles will have to be congruent. So this is how we can conclude the congruency concept in case of line segments and angles. Now let us see how can we extend this to the triangles. So here on the whiteboard, we have taken a couple of triangles. Let us mark these two triangles as ABC and DEF. So if we have to say that these two triangles are congruent, then these two triangles should completely overlap each other when they are kept on each other. Also, these two will have to be a mirror image of each other. Now, if these two triangles are congruent to each other, now let us see how this is written. So basically we write this as ABC, that is the triangle ABC is congruent to the triangle DEF. Now this particular symbol which I have drawn in the middle, I'll just mark it for you. You must have seen this in different books. This is the congruency symbol which we use to denote the congruency between two triangles. Now, if these two triangles are congruent, then we'll say that the vertex A corresponds to the vertex D, vertex B corresponds to the vertex E, vertex C corresponds to the vertex F. Similarly, the side length AB corresponds to the side length DE. The side length BC corresponds to the side length EF. The side length AC corresponds to the side length DF. Then the angle A corresponds to angle D. Angle B corresponds to angle E. And angle C corresponds to angle F. Now, when we are marking the congruency between the two triangles, we'll have to be very careful of the order of the vertices. That is why I have written these corresponding things of one triangle with respect to the other triangle. Now, let us see what is the example, a real life example of congruency of triangles. Now remember, we had taken one real life example where we spoke about the structure. So let us take the structure of a bridge. Now this bridge consists of similar congruent triangles. Now why is it important to make the structure with these congruent patterns? Because these congruent patterns help the structure to be stable and strong and help the structure not to bend or buckle in case of like when a strong wind is blowing or a strong load is passing through the structure. So basically a congruent pattern stabilizes or make the structure strong when it is built with that. So you must have seen the buildings as well with congruent structures. So this is the reason why the congruent structures are used to make these buildings and bridges. Now let us see what are the different congruent criteria are there with respect to the congruency of triangles, and each of the congruent criteria we are going to see through different simulations. So here we'll first discuss the side or the SSS criteria, where you must be looking at two different triangles. One is the triangle ABC, the second one is the triangle DEF with different side lengths, but you must also observe that all the side lengths are equal to each other. For example, AB is equal to DE, BC is equal to EF, AC is equal to DF. Now, if we use this slider and we see that both the triangles overlap each other. Now, as we have already discussed that congruent shapes are going to overlap each other. So we can conclude that these two triangles are congruent because these two triangles overlap each other. And also we see that the three sides of one triangle is equal to the corresponding three sides of the other triangle. So that is how by SSS or the side criteria, we can conclude that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Now here you must also observe that we should be very careful with the order of vertices. Like if we are writing ABC of one triangle, then we will have to write DEF of the other triangle. Now why we got to this congruency criteria? Because the three sides of the triangle ABC is equal to the corresponding three sides of the triangle DEF. Let us now move on to the next congruency criteria. Next comes the side angle side or the SAS criteria, where the two sides and the included angle of one triangle would be equal to the corresponding two sides and the included angle of the other triangle, which in this case you must observe that AB is equal to DE, AC is equal to DF, angle A, which is the included angle between the sides AB and AC, is equal to the included angle D, which is included between the sides DE and DF. And if we use the slider, we'll see that the two triangles overlap each other exactly. So we can again conclude that since we have these conditions, that the two sides and the included angle of one triangle ABC is equal to the two sides and the included angle of the other triangle DEF. That is why we can again write here that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Now again observe that the order of the vertices is very important. Like we cannot write ABC is congruent to EFD, because you see here that angle A corresponds to angle D. Similarly, side AB corresponds to sides DE. So it's very important to maintain the order of the vertices. So let us now move to the next congruency criteria. So the next congruency criteria is the angle side angle criteria, or the ASA criteria, where we see that two angles of one triangle and the included side are equal to the corresponding two angles and the included side of the other triangle. So as we observe here in triangle ABC and DEF, the equal angles are like angle B is equal to angle E, angle C is equal to angle F, and the included side between the two angles is BC, which is equal to the included side of the other triangle EF. Now again, if we overlap these two triangles, use the slider, we'll see that the two triangles overlap each other, which proves that they are congruent based on the condition that two angles of one triangle and the included side equal to the corresponding two angles of the other triangle with the included side. So hence we can again conclude that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF by the angle side angle criteria. Now let's look at the next congruency criteria for triangles. So the next congruency criteria is the right hypotenuse side, or the RHS congruency criteria. Now I have come across some students who by mistake know that the RHS stands for right hand side, but it's not correct. It means the right hypotenuse side. Now here you observe a few specific things, that the hypotenuse is the side opposite to the 90-degree angle, which in this case for triangle ABC is the side AB, for triangle DEF is the side DE. Now you see that the length of the hypotenuse is fixed, the 90 degree is also fixed, and one of the sides, that is AC in triangle ABC and DF in the triangle DEF, is fixed. So if we use the slider, we'll see that the two triangles overlap each other. So based on the condition that in a right angle triangle, the hypotenuse and one of its sides is equal to the hypotenuse, hypotenuse and the corresponding side of the other right angle triangle are equal. So we can say that triangle ABC, in this case triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, and here the criteria that is used is the RHS criteria. So this is how we just saw that we can use the congruency criteria to determine whether two triangles are congruent or not. So these are the different congruency criteria, and that's it for today's session. But yes, I do have an activity for all of you. What you can do is you can observe, congruent patterns around you in daily life, and you can post your answers in the comment section below. Also post your queries if you have. We'll be very happy to answer all of them. Also, if you like this video, do share it with your friends. Click on the like button below. Don't forget to click on the subscription button, and do click on the bell icon. Also, if you want a one-on-one live session with one of the QMAT certified teacher, do check the link in the description. And if you register with that link, you'll get one free live demo session with one of our experts. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this video and you learned the congruency concept. Also remember to work on some of the questions and definitely post your queries in the comment section below. So do have a good day and bye-bye.